Hey, what's up, guys? So we have ourselves some crazy breaking news here. Donald Trump has been indicted again for the second time in the classified documents investigation that took place with special counsel Jack Smith, with the Department of Justice. And we have to talk about this because you guys know me. I try to be fair, right? I don't want this to be a biased YouTube channel, even though I'm a Democrat. I try to more so tell the truth, right? And obviously, it's no secret that I'm not a fan of Donald Trump at all. I still try to be fair. And for me personally, I can understand why a lot of Trump supporters were upset by the Stormy Daniels thing and felt that that might have been a witch hunt. I completely understand the Stormy Daniels thing. I actually thought it was a stupid case, and I didn't even think it was really necessary. However, in this one, guys, I'm sorry. I got to side with the other side here. I think Trump is guilty of this. And before you get upset, because I know we got some Trump supporters who follow me, I want you to hear me out. I really think that I think that Trump is a criminal. I really do. I think in this specific case, I don't even think you could deny it. I know everybody's on social media running around saying, oh, it's a witch hunt. They're trying to get him. They're trying to go after him, blah, blah, blah. And, for me personally, I don't think that's the case, guys. So let's just go over it, right? So Donald Trump has been indicted for the second time. Let's just go ahead and read it. Former President Donald Trump has been indicted for a second time, this time on federal charges in relation to his handling of classified information while out of office. Sources familiar confirmed to ABC News. It says right here, the former president faces at least 7 charges, sources tell ABC News, which include willful retention of national defense information, conspiracy to obstruct justice, withholding a document or record, corruptly concealing a document or record, concealing a document in a federal investigation, scheme to conceal, and false statements and representations. Maximum sentences for the respective charges per their statutes range from up to 5 to 20 years, although any eventual sentence, should Trump be indicted, would likely be much lower, of course, because he's Trump, of course. Trump is set to be arraigned in federal court in Miami, Florida on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, sources said. So that'll be a whole show when that actually happens, because yes, folks, if he's going to be arraigned, that basically means it's going to be exactly what you saw what happened in New York. He's going to be arrested. He's going to have to go into the courtroom, go for the hearing, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, Trump did his thing. He went on his Truth Social platform and said that he's innocent, blah, blah, blah. I actually want to go ahead and go over the case. So I did prepare some notes, and I just wanted to go over it, okay? So first off, one of the things that I did see come up in this case against Donald Trump is the Espionage Act. I just wanted to go ahead and kind of explain some of that to you guys. So the Espionage Act, as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and turn the recording off. Okay, the recording's off. So the Espionage Act comes from a tape recording of Donald Trump in which he talks about a classified document containing a military plan for invading Iran. Trump's comments on the tape are in violation of the Espionage Act, which prohibit the unauthorized disclosure of classified information. Remember, folks, they have him on tape. So it's very likely he could get in trouble or charged with the Espionage Act. I know some people probably don't believe it, but I think it's probably going to happen. I think this is one of his biggest threats right here, is this case, as well as the pending case that's eventually going to happen against him in Georgia, Fulton County, where he called the attorney general. And, he basically said, find me 2,000 votes. If you guys want to find that call, it's literally on YouTube. I just don't think you can deny it at this point. This guy's a criminal. I'm sorry, guys. I know some of you guys like Trump. And I'll say this. I would rather you be honest and tell me to my face that, you know what, Jason? Trump is a criminal. You're right. But I don't care. I still like him. I'm still going to vote for him. I still think he's the best person for this country. I would respect you a lot more if you say that. But if you come to me with these crazy conspiracies and say Trump's completely innocent, the Department of Justice and the Democrats and Biden are just trying to get him, and he actually won the election and the Democrats stole it from him, I'm going to think you're crazy, because it's just not true, folks, okay? Now, I do want to go ahead and play what former Attorney General Bill Barr, who Trump appointed, by the way, just so you know, he worked in Trump's administration. I do want to go ahead and play what former Attorney General Bill Barr had to say. So let's go ahead and play that video right now.
based on the facts, as the facts come out, I think over time people will see that this is not a case of the Department of Justice, conducting a witch hunt. In fact, they approached this very delicately and with deference to the president, and this would have gone nowhere had the president just returned the documents. But he jerked them around for a year and a half, and the question is, did he deceive them? And if there's evidence of that, I think people will start to see that this says more about Trump than it does the Department of Justice, and that is that he's so egotistical that he has this penchant for conducting, risky, reckless acts to show that he can sort of get away with it. It's part of asserting his ego, and he's done this repeatedly at the expense of all the people who depend on him to conduct the public's business in an honorable way. And, we saw that with both impeachments, and there's no excuse for what he did here.
Okay, so now we have what Bill Barr just said. So he just basically told you guys how he felt about the Department of Justice case against Trump. And some of the things that stuck out to me is Bill Barr literally said that this is not a case of the Department of Justice conducting a witch hunt. He doesn't believe that this is a witch hunt. And he also said that there is no excuse for what Donald Trump did here. Okay, now here's where it gets interesting. And this is why I think that Trump is guilty. I know some of you guys, whatever. I'm just going to tell the truth. I really do think he's guilty because you guys got to look at it like this. Get out of the Trump, rabbit hole, the echo chamber. Get out of there. Try and listen to both sides. Listen, classified documents were found in both Biden and Mike Pence's residence. However, both of those two returned the documents. Pence's lawyer discovered about a dozen documents marked as classified at Mike Pence's Indiana home and turned those classified documents over to the FBI. The FBI and the Justice Department National Security Division launched a review of the documents and how they ended up in Pence's home in Indiana. However, he still returned the documents. Biden's personal attorneys found government documents and immediately alerted the White House counsel's office, which notified the National Archives after the materials were discovered. FBI agents later went ahead and found additional documents when they searched Joe Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware. However, he still returned the documents. Literally, Biden's lawyers discovered the classified documents, alerted the National Archives and Records Administration, and turned over the papers. What Trump did is way different, and I need you guys to be reasonable here because it's an absolute fact. Trump did not return the documents. This is why he's being charged. At least one lawyer for Trump signed a written statement in June 2022 asserting that all material marked as classified and held in boxes in the storage area of Mar-a-Lago had been returned to the government, but an inventory of the material taken from Trump's home, because remember, at first, Trump said, oh, everything's already gone. That's it. It's over. And then the FBI said, we don't believe you. So they raided his house, right? So all the material that was held in boxes in storage area, they said had been returned to the government, but an inventory of the material taken from Trump's home showed that FBI agents had seized an additional 11 sets of documents during the search with some type of confidential or secret marking on them, which means that Donald Trump lied. This is part of why he's being charged. Prosecutors in the special counsel's office have presented preliminary evidence that Trump knowingly and deliberately misled his own attorneys. He misled his own attorneys. So remember, one of Trump's lawyers signed a written statement in June of 2022 saying that all the material marked as classified and held in boxes in the storage area at Mar-a-Lago had been returned to the government. He doesn't have any more documents. However, according to the prosecutors, they're saying that Trump knowingly and deliberately misled his own attorneys about the retention of classified materials after leaving office. So Trump's case is completely different, because he refused to return all of the documents. Then he lied about how many documents he had, and then he moved them to hide them from authorities. There's even more information about that, about like the actual cameras and the fact that they believe that some of the people in Trump's team doctored the footage and different things like that. It really gets crazy. But I'm sorry, I cannot let it slide when people come and they say, oh, it's a witch hunt. They're going after him. That is crazy stuff that Trump says. It is not a witch hunt. It needs to, you guys got to stop it. I agree. Some of the stuff that they're going after Trump for is ridiculous. I do agree that he is hated in New York. I do agree that in the state of New York, they are out to get him. I agree with you there. I don't think every single charge against Trump is fair or accurate or even reasonable. I really don't. I agree with you. But this charge right here, this charge is real. Trump could have just returned the documents like Pence did. Pence is a Republican. If it's such a witch hunt, why aren't they going after Mike Pence? Isn't he a Republican too? So the witch hunt only applies to Donald Trump? Come on now, let's be reasonable here. He lied. He lied and said he had no more documents. Then he had that call with the whole thing with Iran. It's a whole lot going on here, folks. I just think that it personally can't be denied. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm with the Democrats on this one. Or I'm not even going to say with the Democrats. I am with the special counsel Jack Smith on this one. I am with the prosecutors. I think the evidence is undeniable. And I do think that Trump will end up in jail. I don't know if he's going to end up in jail for this. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But I know he's got that other case pending in Georgia. And I'm just here to tell you, I think Trump's going to go to jail. I know some of you guys who might be emotional, really love Trump. You might not like to hear that. Fine. But in my personal opinion, I think what he did here was criminal. I think he broke the law. And I don't think that just because you're a former president of the United States means that you should be above the law. And I do not think that it was a witch hunt. I think he is guilty, and I think he will be charged for this. And I think he absolutely did it. The evidence is undeniable. Just go ahead and read any newspaper about it. It's undeniable. Okay. All right. Those are my thoughts on the whole thing. So Trump has been indicted. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.